Shubman Gill. Obviously, we know the class, we know the promise, but one thing we seem to have noticed, Pommy and Joy, and I'll come to Joy first, is the fact that he's been dismissed in the power play, right? So 14 innings previous season, only 4 times dismissed in the power play. So what he was doing, he was setting himself up for a big one, which maybe is not happening this season.
Yeah, look, there was only one case among all these where he was absolutely out to a beauty. He just hit the ball and it just found the fielder, which happens. But that's once in 5 innings. The other 4 times, he was struggling to control. I think somewhere in his head, he feels the responsibility of scoring faster, and somehow he's getting frustrated in the early overs. And once he's getting frustrated, if you see those run rates out there, you can see that at least in 3 of those cases, he's been strangled. He's not being able to break through, and he's getting out. And that's something that they should be thinking about. Is it a technical issue? Has he been found out? Because what happens with a lot of players is what I literally call the sophomore curse. Last year he was a sensation. He was a guy coming out. This year he'll be targeted. They'll be looking at him. They would have done the analysis. They say, you know what, Shubman Gill likes this. He doesn't like this. So this is where the big boys play. Year one, you're a kid. You're there. You slip under the system, under the radar. Now the big boys are there, and I think he has the class to do it. He just, as I said, all of them support him. They believe he has a quality of shots. And when he does hit a ball, you just wonder why he even bothers to hit other shots. Because, he'll hit this 6 just fluently over, long on. And you look at him and say, why doesn't this guy hit 1 and over like that and doesn't need to do anything else? And that's the matter, that he has that talent. Somewhere, the problem is not in his talent. The problem is in the way he's approaching the game right now. I'm sure the senior guys can help him out.
Pommy, your take on Shubman Gill? Obviously, from a distance, you would have seen him. You would have known what the potential is. But it's one thing to have potential, another to have exactly what he has. Kolkata have backed him. We've heard what David Hussey has had to say about Shubman Gill. So, with people backing him, that's the right way to go.
In the game, you generally fail more than you succeed. It's just what it is. There's no question about Shubman Gill's talent. There's no question about the fact that he can bat. He can bat. And man, I absolutely love watching him. And yes, he is an absolute class act. That is true. And he will come good at some point. I think situations, that's the game. The game of cricket is a situational one. Can you, when the situation demands, choose to do the correct thing? And sometimes, even if you choose to do the correct thing, you might not execute it right. Things must align. So we might sit from the outside and look and think, oh, gee, he's not going so well, must be in a bad space mentally. Maybe from the results he might. But in terms of what he's trying to do, how he's trying to do it, he might be on the mark and it just might not be coming off. And yes, that does kind of build pressure on a guy if it goes on and on and on. I think what's not helping is the fact that there are all these others as well who are not getting runs. So you're in a team where you think, I should be trying to start quickly. I should be trying to pierce the field and trying to get us, at 8s and 9s, maybe 7.5s and to 8.5 in the beginning in the power play, because that is my job. And that's what I'm looking to do, but it's just not happening. He's just got to keep going. What do they say? Trust the process. I've heard a great man say that before. So yeah, he's got to keep going with whatever the process is, because he is class. He'll come good. No doubt about that in my mind anyway.